Hello, I'm Rudy and welcome to my motorsports channel. You might think that what has any of this to do with motorsports? Just a guy talking about camera gear, which seems to be quite plenty of it. So, if you are a follower of my channel, you already know what do I do. In this channel, I do motorsport interviews and I've been doing Driftmasters live practice streams into YouTube. So who am I and how did I end up doing this? I've been making YouTube videos for about 1.5 years now. And about 4 years now I've been also quite intensively following Driftmasters and apparently many other drifting series as well. So as I had the background of making YouTube videos, an interest in drifting, and I also always have had that admire to great YouTubers who do good videos, and for quite a long time I kind of had that feeling that maybe I can do that as well. So I started. I have been doing mostly videos about all kind of projects that I do, technical, mechanical. Over the last winter I did a repowering project of my boat and stuff like that. I never had like a really focused thing that I would like to do. Then came the idea of drifting, and I for quite a bit had been thinking about like why there is nobody who does driver interviews. Of course there are people doing driver interviews, but I kind of always thought that it's, especially if it's within the official Driftmasters broadcast, Red Bull TV, it cannot be something that is really thorough and they only have a couple of minutes to do the interviews. So I thought that somebody should do that. I'm from Finland, I live in Helsinki, and Finland has a pretty good drifting scene here, and I thought that, you know, maybe I will just get enough of viewers, and I don't know if it was really about the viewers or anything. I just wanted to find out if I can do it. And that was the driver of all of this. So in this video, I'm kinda leading two stories. One story is how I got here, and the other story is that how my camera gear has been evolving along the journey, because last season was the first season I did, and obviously if you haven't done anything before, you're not gonna be the expert, you will not have the absolute correct gear for everything, and that's why I'm doing this gear video, just to let you guys know what do I have there, you know, behind the camera. Also, it's not a high season of motorsports here in Finland at the moment, so I like making videos, why not make a video like this? I will start all of this now going back to before the season even started. So I was pretty convinced that I'm gonna do interviews, and then during the extra time when there is a driving going on where I cannot do interviews, that I will need to have some sort of a camera gear that can cope with the motorsports, and I could have like a good footage for, I don't know, social media and whatever. My original idea was that I will film the practice sessions and try to get those out fairly quickly. Also, my thinking on the interview videos was that I want to get those out. If I interview today, those are gonna be always out the next day. So I think most of that is something that kind of expires quite quickly, so that was the basic idea. Anyway, how I geared up. I originally bought a Sony ZV-E10 camera with some lenses, and I did some filming with that camera for a bit over the winter, and came up into conclusion that it will not do. It's lacking some critical features that I really wanted to have. So if you're filming in 4K, I think you need to have optical stabilization. The limitation with ZVE, it doesn't have the IBIS, the in-body stabilizer, and you can of course have lenses from Sony that, at least from Sony, that has the OSS, the stabilizer in the lens, but then it somehow turned out that I always have the wrong combination of kit with me in several occasions, and especially then if shooting in 4K, you don't have even the digital stabilization. So, and also in the camera you only get up to 25 frames per second while filming in 4K, and you don't make good slow-mos out of that. So I decided that I need to have something else. I had a bunch of lenses and bunch of gear already with that camera, and managed to find this Sony FX30. It was being sold second-hand in a Finnish camera store, and I made a proposition of if I trade in the ZVE10 and some lenses I had with that. So, and that worked out. Then I have the FX30. And FX30, I think this is probably, or this will be a camera that I never need to replace if it just stays intact and everything. It has some pretty good features for motorsports filming, like the IBIS, the in-body stabilizer. It has cooling fan. This is very essential for filming and streaming the practice sessions, because in hot environment, basically any other camera that doesn't have the cooling will overheat, and that's something that is really typical with many other Sony models, even like on the top-end models, which are not like video or movie cameras. They don't do that. But I will tackle my streaming kit a little bit later. Let's start with the most obvious one. First, I wanted to do interviews, and as I'm doing it myself, I wanted to have something suitable for that. Options that I had at that point were Insta360 Ace Pro, and then I had a Sony ZV-1. I actually happen to have two of these. I only have one with me today, but I started with this, and basically I just had this one, which is a selfie video camera handle, whatever it's called, with that much of reach for selfie filming. In the very beginning, when I started publishing these videos, I always mentioned in the videos that please give me some feedback. If there's something you don't like, if there's something you like, you want me to do more, just drop me a comment so I can then try to fix those things. And I'm not really a pro, and I'm basically just a guy who started doing stuff. So obviously, I mean, I didn't have the thinking that I would be mastering it since the very first moment. So anyway, this was not good for doing those interview videos because the stabilization in this one, which is digital, it's not very good for that, and there is like quite a bit of shakiness in those videos from the very first weekend when I was doing this. And then I just thought that as I had this Ace Pro, this was actually my first camera what I bought when I started making YouTube videos, only to realize that I actually need these Sonys. But anyway, this little guy has pretty amazing stabilization. Like it can lock the horizon. It doesn't matter which way you turn it, but my compromise with this is that I'd use the 45-degree horizon lock because I never kind of exceed that while filming. But I don't need to then concentrate too much of the like where the camera is pointing, because I'm still filming at the same time as I'm interviewing the people. So with this one, I actually then started to use this selfie stick kind of configuration here with a little bit of extended angle, and this is nice because you can actually then lean this to your hip and stabilize it pretty well. How about the audio then regarding these interview videos? I actually had already these DJI mic version 1s that I harnessed in this use after I had the feedback that the first videos were really shaky and can you do something about that. So I thought that yes, I will do something. So the image is now stabilized. I used to use these mics just as in the backup recording mode, which is kind of more laborious than in the post and in edit to get it right. But to make these work with this camera, you need to use the receiver and you need some extra bits and bobs to get it set up. I'll show you that just now. So you need this bracket here. You need to have this special thing here, and then you fix the transmitter, and then you have the adapter here for the video signal, and in the end this is how it will look like. I'll set up this Sony camera, by the way, just to be the close-up camera for the stuff that I actually do and show here, so you can see it better. So let us see. So this is the setup, how it looked like in the end and actually through the whole season of Drift Masters 2025. This works. This absolutely works, and I really like these microphones. The sound of them are, I would say, really amazingly good. It is that you might have better options and so on and so forth, but with this setup, those connected to this camera, I think there's enough of compression that you get very good results in interviews, even though if you have like a 2JZ powered car just rolling past you or next to you in the paddock, you still get very understandable and actually pretty nice sounding speech interview recordings. So I'm really impressed with these. The only problem during the season that I had with these was that the receiver died once on me, and this happened in Ireland. It was that I had already done all of my interviews, and it was just like my outro speech that I missed because of that. But basically it was a little bit tricky because it showed all of these like view meters there, everything looked fine, but it just didn't output anything to the camera. But I must say I was really impressed with the DJI customer service. It took only like 4 days when I sent this kit out with the mics and everything, and I got it back in just, I think it was 4 days. It might have been that it was over the weekend, but it was four business days, and I got it back fully functional, no problem at all. So if I then kind of conclude everything with this interview camera situation, is that I kind of I like how this performs, but I don't like the weight of it. It has quite much there, and if you imagine how it is holding this like that, say multiple times, quite many times in a day, it's not very ideal. And of course, this is like if you store this somewhere, wherever, it has all of these like weak points of connectors and everything that it's not ideal. I know that I'm very good at breaking things, so I had to figure out something else. It was good for one season, it's probably good for another season as well, and I could maybe tweak it a little bit, but I decided to change. I will swap my camera from what is filming in there. I will actually replace it with the Sony ZV-1 that is filming there, because that one is the camera that I actually bought to replace this one. And by the way, I always try to find secondhand deals on camera gear, because it seems that like after 1 year of use, many people notice that, hey, this is not my thing, I'm not using this very much. You get pretty good cameras and you get pretty good gear with quite good money, because people who didn't eventually need it or use it, they have a pretty good piece of kit for sale then. So now the Sony camera is recording, and as you can see, we lost a little bit of a field of view, but it shouldn't matter too much. So in this one, I can now replace this Insta360 with a DJI camera, and my choice of weapon is DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. Why this one? There was just a couple of weeks back the new version of Osmo Action introduced. It is obviously the Osmo Action 6. But why I actually particularly wanted this one? To me, I don't think in my use case, I don't benefit much from what the Osmo Action 6 has. And it's a little bit larger than this one. So this is probably like the minimum of the action cameras that you can have. I mean, of course there are those really much smaller ones, but what I actually like about this is first of all the size. Also the features, they kind of match with the Ace Pro. If I want to do something else than interview videos with this one, and it also benefits the interview videos, is that this has the 10-bit color depth, which is more towards the pro level, or at least more serious level than what the Ace Pro has. That's one reason. Then there's the size, and then there's the fact that you can actually have DJI mics to be connected directly to this camera, so that you don't need to use this huge hassle with it. Unfortunately, it's not this version that is compatible with this one. So I need to get a new set of microphones, and what are compatible with this one is actually the DJI Mic 2, DJI Mic 3 and the DJI Mic Mini, which are a little bit different all, and I still haven't made my mind that which is my go-to for next season. I kind of like the form factor of these old ones, so the DJI Mic 2 would be maybe a good one. The only problem is that those are still fairly expensive, and I don't see those that much in the second-hand market. Somehow that's maybe my go-to choice if I just get one kit with a good price. The DJI Mic 3 also quite nice. I mean, only thing that kind of bothers me with those is the clip. I have already once dropped one of these. It was in Riga. Luckily I found it, but in DJI Mic 3s this clip is like part of it, is like magnetically attached to the mic itself, and it doesn't convince me that much. DJI Mic Mini, that's the cheapest option. I kind of maybe might lean into that direction in this use case, because I still have these and I can use the backup recording in these for the whatever stuff I'm doing and needing that. The DJI Mic Minis don't have that feature, so I still have time before next season starts to figure it out. But basically that is the situation with the interview cameras and mics I have also updated for next season. Of course, better cameras, better microphones, it doesn't mean necessarily better interviews, so hopefully I can come up with new, better questions, or at least updated questions and good communication with the drivers next year as well. But let's move on to the streaming situation, and I knew that somebody had already done that before. For example, Black Smoke Racing, they had done it. Then there were some other social media people who had done it, and somehow I thought that it was not at that point that interesting. I thought that, you know, maybe filming good quality footage from the events was something that could, you know, give me a little bit of additional stuff on top of the interviews. But then I think it was already maybe in Ireland or in Finland that somebody suggested that you should start to do live practice sessions, and I thought that okay, I gave you the chance to give me feedback, and it was actually multiple people who suggested that, and I had also thought that myself that it would be like a really good cheat code to get more subscribers, and of course in a way, if I want to try if I can do this, of course it needs to be, of course the next thing would be that I need to find out that if I can monetize all of this, and I mean, as you can see from the gear perspective and all the travel and everything, like it doesn't make sense if it's just cost to me. So I decided to try that. First try was in Ireland. I did it with my mobile phone, but I actually had attached my mobile phone to my camera rig. Let me put this camera rig together for you guys so you can see like how that works. This is actually one of the most intriguing parts of this camera hobby, that you can start to build stuff like this. This FX30 actually came with this camera gauge, which is nice because it has a little bit more of these fixation points and fixtures and mounting points for everything. So what I then did was I had my and yes, so this was like the base setup. I used these 15 millimeter rails here, and of course the biggest challenge with all of this actually is how do you charge everything and how do you keep them running if it's a long day and you don't have a power supply anywhere. So I decided that I'm gonna use these Sony NP, is it NP? Yes, NP-F batteries with this adapter plate here, and then I have a cable running from, oh, I can take that one from this power distribution, USB power distribution to the camera, and then I got some other stuff because I thought, oh, it is useful for filming, this top handle. Then I got the side handle here. This was already something that I actually bought when I rigged the previous camera, the Sony ZV-E10, and all of this. Then I decided that I need an external monitor, so I got one and I think it was Mika Keskikorpi's brother last season who said to me when I was putting this together that there's actually not that much of the camera in the setup, which is true. Camera is here, and then you have all of the accessories and features and yeah. For many kind of filming, it actually is pretty good like this. The external display, you know, you only have like a limited view to the camera display, but to have it in here, it's actually quite nice, and of course it adds weight, so it's not like that nimble to use and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. So the first live session I streamed, I think I had a thought that it might be possible that I can just directly connect my phone to the camera and then stream. It didn't work out at all, and then I decided that okay, I'll just put in my mobile phone, and I actually connected these microphones with the receiver to the phone, and I then used this to like stabilize the shots on my mobile phone, and I did some streaming, and I think it was not like that bad. And then I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do streaming, I'm gonna do it as good as I can, because you know, I think it's somehow intriguing to be able to develop things and to learn things and, you know, get something out of myself. Like, I don't want to be the person that does the same as everybody else has done with their mobile phone before. So firstly, I think that you need to do it with a proper camera. So you need to have the optics. This is actually not the lens what I started with. This is 18 to 200mm Sony zoom lens. I used to have one without a power zoom, but this one has a power zoom, which is actually quite nice if you film cars and you do that for a long time. You don't need to be all the time turning the zoom ring. You can just use this lever, or you have the zoom lever here or zoom button here, and then you can select the speed here. I'm almost every time running this in the high speed when filming these events. I think this was like really a game changer for me last season. And yeah, so that's basically everything in the camera side. You need some power, you need the camera, you need some optics, and that's it. I'm actually gonna take this out because I'm not actually using this during the live stream, so it's irrelevant now. So what was the next step? How to get from the camera to the phone? You need something like this, for example. This is the J5 Create HDMI grabber card, as they call these. And I actually 3D printed this really, I think, pretty neat thing for this one. And I think the fitment was really nice that I got it like second time when I did it. Maybe it should have a little bit more or less loose fitment into the cold shoe here, but at least that can be done. So this works so that I can then connect this to my phone, and one cable from this power brick here to this one, and then my phone can be charged over from this battery, and I can also charge the camera through this battery, which is like, in practice with this setup, something that doesn't charge like that powerfully, but it kind of makes everything be on the same charge if you remember to correctly connect everything. So that's how I did everything, for example, in Germany. and I think that was pretty good experience. I really liked doing it. I did also the same in Riga, and obviously in Poland more or less. And then I got this one feedback in the comments that, you know, I was in Riga and somebody told me that why don't you even once go to film the entry. And when I have all of this with everything on tripod, on a video head, with all of my backpack and stuff, because I need to kind of put all of this together and carry everything with me, it's not that you simply just move to some other place to film. So it's not something that you can easily do, and I absolutely understand the frustration because you know how it looks in the Red Bull TV, and so it should be possible, but then I'm only just one guy doing it there. And then in the end of the season, I kind of managed everything pretty well with this setup. I think the viewers were really happy. I got so much more subscribers through these live sessions than from anything else. It is also seemingly, at least on 2025, it was the best income for me from everything what I do. And somehow I got really interested of doing it. So then comes the last race for me during the season, which was the FIA IDC Intercontinental Drifting Cup in Riga once again. And I had this complaint, or this comment ringing in my head that why don't we see the entry? And what did I do next? Of course you need to have two cameras to do that properly. So I then got my two cameras with me, which I, by the way, have had all the season with me, but I bought some additional gear. So I ditched this one, the HDMI grabber card, and from the same manufacturer I actually found another model, which is J1 Create. What is it? What is the model of it? JVA06. And this has two HDMI inputs, which means you can actually grab two HDMI signals with this one, and in a similar fashion then put your mobile phone there and stream it. And you can use these hardware buttons here to select the camera you want to show. You can have like picture in picture, and actually this is pretty neat small device to do something like this, I must admit. And what was the best thing with this one is that it has these quarter inch holes here, so I can like put this one with this kind of a clamp, or you know, you can fix it to anywhere and have this then fixed to your camera tripod somewhere, and you can have it like easily accessible and easily usable. And I mean, these are pretty sturdy things. These are from Small Rig. By the way, nothing is sponsored in this video, so I'm just speaking from my experience as it is. And with this one you can also like mix the audio. It's very rough mixing because it's on or off from different sources, but hey, you can do it. You can have a mic here. How did I set this up was that I had my remote link that I also purchased connected to one HDMI input, and this camera, then I had the DJI mic receiver connected into this, so I could actually speak into one of the mics. The other one was kind of pointing towards the track, so I I think I managed to get pretty good audio from that setup. So this was the next step and the final step that any of you there so far have seen. Because this one, actually, it wasn't too bad, but if I may show you these devices, it's the wireless link. And okay, it looks like this. It's the receiver and transmitter, antenna, and that's it. Fairly simple, quite easy to use. It's pre-paired when you get it. So you just need to give it a little bit of a USB power on both ends, and then it'll work. The problem is that this doesn't seem to be like too stable. It has it has two LED indicators here in the side of it, and if the blue one is blinking, then you know that the connection is there. And if the blue is stationary or not blinking, it's just a permanent blue, it means that you don't have the link established. And if the link is not being established, you can already notice that you don't have your camera signal. So it's not like very robust and reliable. And you know, if you commit in doing something like that, the 2-camera streaming, it is very annoying if you cannot do it all of a sudden because your links failed you. And of course, this is like in so many things, you start with really low-end products, and only after using them for a bit you realize why they are low-end products, and then you start to think about that there must be a better solution. First of all, I think this is a neat piece of kit, but I thought that there is more to be done in the streaming side of this, what I do. So I actually then first thing that I purchased was this one. What is this? This is a YOLO Live YOLO Box Ultra, which is pretty powerful device. This can stream. You can stream from quite many HDMI inputs. Actually, it's 4 inputs. The one is for like an additional monitor. And then you can also hook like 2 additional USB cameras into this. And on top of that, you can actually connect some IP cameras into this, like wireless IP cameras. So it is pretty neat thing. And with this, you don't need, for streaming, you don't need the mobile phone. You don't need anything additional, because this one even has a SIM card in it, and it'll directly stream to YouTube. It also does stream to Twitch, and it might be Facebook too, which is pretty neat. This is not a cheap thing. I think the list price is at its cheapest north of 1,500 euros. And I managed to find one secondhand with warranty on it still. So this is like the first step that I'm gonna do to get those next year's streams better. There are so many in this thing. I'm not gonna go through any of it today because there are quite many videos in YouTube covering this one. But for example, as a teaser, what might be there next year is replays. Slow-mo replays, this does that, which is, I think, pretty neat. You can do it with a mobile phone and this one as well, but it's rather cumbersome if you're pressing these buttons on the small screen and kind of try to get it right. And also, it can do various overlays and inserts directly from this device itself. And what is really interesting, that I can actually raise comments from YouTube to be an overlay in the video. So if there is like a really good joke or really good comment or something, I can pick those up from the chat and make them visible in the stream. So I'm actually pretty excited about this. So far it looks that it's an amazing piece of kit, and we'll see what that brings to us. So then the next thing obviously is that if we think about the tracks now that have been published in the 2026 calendar in Drift Masters, we know that we have Riga, we know that we have Ireland, we have Germany, we have Poland, we have Italy as a new place, we have Spain. Out of these tracks, I would say that Italy, Spain, Riga, Finland, those are ones that absolutely needs multi-camera stream, because otherwise you will miss something or quite a bit of the lap. I don't want to trust my stream on this one anymore. I might carry this with me next season as well, because it might be that on some races I need 3 cameras. I actually have 2 of those ZV-1s that I have actually used as the other camera in Riga, in the FIA IDC. That works just fine. But what and how will I tackle this link issue then is something that I actually received today. And this is from DJI. I'm not, as I told you, I'm not sponsored by DJI by any means, but so far actually the service, how they convinced me with these mics, that's why what led also a little bit to leaning on the DJI for the action camera as well. And this is, I'm really excited about this device or devices. And this will be also the unboxing situation of this whole thing. So, what is here? It's some mounts, it's some cables and stuff as you can expect, and some stickers and stuff. But most importantly, we have, or I have, my new wireless transmitter and receiver. This thing, at least how they promise it, should be able to transmit up to 3 kilometers. If this was 150 meters, which it actually did, not like ideally because it was unreliable, but this thing should go over or at least up to 3 kilometers. There are plenty of reviews of these in YouTube. I'm not gonna do one, or I'm not gonna do one that is the same as the other ones. But later in this video, we're gonna try these because I'm so curious of how these really work. So these are the 2 little guys here. One is a transmitter, one is a receiver. I guess I can take that away. It says the antenna is not detachable. That's because some of these things from other manufacturers are detachable. And what is a cool thing here, because what happened with these ones is that I needed to have USB-C power. And how did I manage to get the USB-C power was through these power banks. And when you have a power bank for one thing and the other thing, and all of a sudden you are basically having quite much of a hassle with all kind of cabling and stuff. So these things actually use the same batteries as my camera rig. So I got 2 more of these batteries, so I can just throw those in, and basically if I switch these on, they should connect just like that. And these have fans, which is important for hot conditions. Let's see if we get a connection. And these have HDMI input, HDMI output, and SDI out, SDI in. I don't need that, at least for now, but that's something that really... Okay, just you need to select the language. What? Device not activated. Connect to computer and use DJI Assistant 2 to activate. Okay, well, I need to do that first. There's probably, as I said, a ton of YouTube videos covering all of that and everything, but hey, after I have set up these guys, I'm gonna go out and try these because I want to know if it's really 3 kilometers that these can do. So let's jump to the next clip to find out. Okay, now that we're here, it might be a good information for the people that if you are activating these things, you need to have the DJI Assistant 2, which the receiver or transmitter doesn't say that it needs to be the Ronin series. So that's what we're gonna install, and hopefully they will then fly. Okay, now that I have updated the firmware in both of these transmitter and receiver, let's go through the test setup that I'm gonna use there when I get out. Here we have Sony ZV-1 that is connected via HDMI to this transmitter. It seems to be happy there. We have the battery info and what else. Anyway, that is connected, and then that is sending everything to the receiver that is connected to my Viltrox DC-2 monitor, and this is what I'm gonna take. This is gonna go to someplace, and this is gonna go 3 kilometers away, and then we will see if that will transmit and receive as promised. Now, this is actually on the deck of my boat, or the camera is set up on the deck of my boat that is here winterized and stored in a boatyard, because the 3 kilometers that I'm gonna try is on line of sight, and I also needed to find a place that is not accessible by anybody, but the transmitter, I would like that to be like a little bit higher than in the ground level. And I'm not actually that interested in is it really 3 kilometers in line of sight, but I'm actually more interested about half a kilometer, 500 meters with some obstacles. But hey, we're gonna try. Now I'm actually gonna jump into my car and take some distance from the camera and the transmitter. And here I have the portable monitor with me. You can see the same what the camera sees, and we can also check on the receiver that what it says about the condition of the link, and is the link up or not. So let's go to the next place and find out. So now we're still in a car in vicinity of the boat, and we start going. I'll actually keep filming the screen here because I think it's pretty interesting to see where we lose the signal, or if we lose it at all. The car obviously is challenging because it's pretty, at least the sheet metal parts are pretty good at blocking the signal. The first stretch here we will actually get some boats blocking and obstructing the line of sight. So let's see, we're good. We're about 50 meters away, not 50 meters, oh maybe 50 meters away. I'm reversing the car here, so need to concentrate on that. Still are having the signal. And I'll actually keep the camera here while I drive so you can see if there is a dropout. So here we go. We are now already quite close to surpass the capability of the previous link, probably are already done. I have like a checkpoint there which is roughly 1 kilometer in line of sight, but to get there we actually kind of need to go out from this island. It is a island where the boat yard is. As we can see, we're still receiving, no interruptions. And we're in the car. That's actually the biggest challenge here, I think. So I'm actually okay. Now it starts to be a little bit bad quality, and this is a couple of 100 meters inside the car. I think I'm already impressed with this one. And as I said earlier, I'm not being sponsored by any of the products I've shown today. Okay, there we go. This is inside the car. Let's jump out now. This is like the worst direction actually where we could be. At least open the door. And see here, the link is down. It's also interesting to see like if we can recover the link, because that's also like quite important that if we see anything here. The challenge now is that on that way the boat is there and we have a little bit of trees and distance and boats and other boats and everything there. Okay, I think that was good. We're actually headed that way. There's a beach over there and there should be like relatively straight line of sight without any obstacles, and we'll see if this link then recovers there. That's about a kilometer away, so let's see. Okay, so we are here. The boat yard is over there, and actually this is like midway point, but I wanted to make sure if the link recovers itself. It seemingly does. All the way down around there by car into this like cape here, it did not show anything. And I can show you how it looks when it doesn't show anything. When we go back to the car and then we actually proceed to that direction, the very middle of the frame there is the beach, and that's the next testing point. And now when I walk back, okay, now I lost it. So it is quite critical of the line of sight, but this is already some maybe 600-700 meters away from the actual transmitter. So we're here in the next checkpoint. By the way, my apologies about the noisy sound. I forgot the pretty impressive windshields out of my DJI mics. But yeah, the situation is this. We don't have signal. Signal is coming from there. It's almost line of sight, but kind of didn't expect it to perform like that good. But I still think it is good because it's not line of sight. And as I told you, it's not the importance here. We got a couple of 100 meters with obstacles, and that's impressive. I think that's enough for the testing on this video. Maybe I will push it harder. And just like that, when I stop recording, guess what? We have signal. And I'm not even on top of that, well, that cliff. It's a couple of meters high, so now we have even like a tree. The signal is like 2 out of 10, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, but it's really changing quite a lot. From 1 to 3 to 2. This is interesting. I didn't think this is the sweet spot for it, but who the hell knows about the sea and the beach and the sand. Let's see. We have, this is exactly 1 kilometer from the, and it's pretty clear signal. I mean, there's no any sort of artifacts or anything. And you can see the tarp moving there, and it's actually, by the way, something that I need to check on the tarp, because that should be attached. But hey, seemingly it works and it re-establishes itself. It is impressive. Now I'm surprised. I thought that now we're gone. I think I can now see maybe a little bit of it. Might be just that it's out of focus. Huh. How cool. Does this now mean that I need to go to the last checkpoint? I guess that's pushing the boundary of 3 kilometers, but yeah, hey, this was a positive surprise. Okay, next place, almost 3 kilometers. So far nothing. That's where we are receiving from, and well, we didn't get that receive, didn't catch it last time, only after some while, but I have my doubts now. It is more or less line of sight, but we have the initial obstacles there at the boat, so that's the issue here. So I'm gonna give it maybe a minute or two, and then I'm out. Okay, that was it, the test, and there might be another test video on my other channel coming over the winter. So we are approaching the boatyard, and I put the receiver on my dashboard, and then we're gonna see when do we get the signal back. I have 700 meters of drive left, but we are facing all kind of obstacles here. It's actually still almost 1 kilometer drive left, because I was looking at the wrong number. It was to the next turn. Almost there. Let's see where we get the signal back. Or is there like a delay? So we're almost there where we lost it last time. And we got it back. Here we are. Pretty much in the same spot as we lost it last time. So let us see, it's a little bit weak now, but should improve in a bit. Now it seems to be all good, at least almost. So the verdict is, I think it's very usable, and I'm impressed how it always receives and re-establishes the connection. That's very nice, and testing continues. Now back to the kitchen. So that was the test. I actually filmed that test after I had filmed this one, so I don't know how it went, but you already know. I think what I wanted to mention before concluding all of this is that the most stressful thing doing this, being rather mobile, basically carrying everything in a backpack or in a luggage, is that you need to be able to charge absolutely everything, and you need to have everything charged for the next day no matter what. And this is like, okay, this has some other cables too, but it's usually like a pure mess with all kind of adapters and everything, and you need to think beforehand like what you need and what you need to have. I usually used to carry like this multi-socket extension cord to have like, be sure that I have plug for everything, and that's really not ideal either. So I actually also sourced this 330 watt multi-charger. It has 10 outlets, so I can actually do most of what I do need to charge with this one. So that was the video. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, you're most likely not gonna see another video like this on this channel, but I'm really waiting to see and meet all of you guys, at least in the comments of my videos next season. Stay tuned. And if you want to help me, click that like button, give me a subscribe so that you're ready to not miss the first streaming session next year. I wish you very best Christmas and New Year 2026. Bye.